you gonna start? You're the host.
I am gonna start. I don't.
You forgot.
You're like,
As soon as the
He
camera
had
is
a
live, as soon as the lights went on, I was like, "What is this called again?
What's my name?
What's my name?" Hey guys, welcome to Real Baloney. This is the first ever introductory episode. I am Jacob, but other people know me as YouTube Gaming. I'm on Twitch and YouTube. At some point, I'll be on YouTube, but for right now, it's mostly on Twitch. I am joined by my other two co-hosts. First, Lainey.
Lainey. You can find me on Twitch at exoluckytiger.
Okay, well that's it for her then, I guess. That's what she wanted to say. But and then
That's all.
down below we have the all supreme baloney that we praise and hail to.
hey, what's up? How's it going? I'm Joshy Boy. I go by Joshy Boy. First name Josh, last name Boy. You could find me on Twitch, Joshy Boy TV. And that's it because that's about as much as you're getting out of me. But yeah.
You have to be some hostile towards them, man. So yeah, I've had this idea for a podcast. Where this all stems from is I had this idea for a podcast to do with friends, that people that wanted to like just talk about whatever came to mind, and we wanted to establish a show that kind of embodied everything that just people talk about, everything that people talk about, ranging from everything that you can think of, because there is no building to encapsulate us now. We are in the midst of a pandemic, as it goes, and as much as the world wants to keep us contained, I did not want to be contained in it any longer. So I want to expand out and become something entirely open to everyone and everything. So all Real Baloney is everything, from pop culture to cars, which I have no interest in, but if I gotta learn about some cars, I'll learn about some cars, and etc. Just everything that you can think of.
It's just a whole bunch of baloney.
Just a whole bunch of baloney. And so I got two incredibly awesome people to come in on this and to help me with this. And so Laney and Josh, I thank you guys so much for coming and joining this. And I would like you guys to say something like each about each other. So we'll again start with Laney and go from there.
Well, I think it's very obvious what I'm a fan of. If you guys can't tell by this or the background, I have a passion and love towards Star Wars. I absolutely love it. I love the books. I love the movies. Star Wars. Everything Star Wars. I also really love Marvel. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man's like my favorite. I also love talking about video games. Like you said, pop culture. I really love the idea of talking about just kind of any and everything like related to pop culture, whether it's movies, books, video games, television shows, just the whole everything. It's awesome. I'm very excited to be doing this too.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Josh, what you got?
Well, me, I like the listener. I like the viewer, the subscribers. That's who I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of the people. And you see, I want to talk pretty much about whatever the people want to talk about. So, but what I'm interested in, I'm open-minded. I like a whole lot of stuff. I'm into a whole bunch of I like video games a lot. Pokemans. I like me some Pokemans. Pokemon fans, what's up? Anyway, I also like anime, movies. Yeah, I like a whole lot of stuff, and honestly, I'm intrigued to get into a lot of more of what these guys are into as well. Because the more we talk about it, the more I want to get into it. To actually talk about some stuff that I don't have a whole lot of knowledge on. And not only that, I was kind of forced here because Jacob, he got his baloney out, slapped it on the desk, and said, "Hey, here." So I'm here.
All right. Well,
But
we don't have an HR rep yet, so we can't really go into it. Don't really want to bring that up yet, Josh. All right, save that for the after meeting. All right, man. But
for episode 2.
yeah, for episode 2, that's going to be the topic. Is just the HR rep and where they are. So
Oh no, I thought it was about how you pulled me out of the baloney package and forced me to work with you.
you know
that's what that was going to be about.
You know, I only put the bologna there because you told me, you're like, you know what I love? Just a long, thick package of bologna. And I was like, well, here you go, man. And there it is.
Hey, baloney are people too, okay?
Yeah.
I'm at the bottom. You guys are up on the top, okay?
Hey, I didn't set this up. You're the one that decided not to have a webcam, all right?
Yeah, I know. Discord, what's up with that?
Oh my!
Are you kidding me?
So
baloney are people too.
So I am, and I'm also known as YouTube Gaming, HUGHTUB3 instead of an E gaming, but on YouTube it's with an E because Twitch had someone named YouTube Gaming that only did one little stream like 4 months ago and I couldn't get it. So maybe this will turn things around. We'll see. But as you can see, I'm kind of like pop culture gamey as well. I have a PS5 right here, Xbox Series X. I got Five Nights at Freddy's right here. Little eye patch dude. You know, I love anime. I love pop culture. I love never watched The Office until last year, and then I got a waifu right here. And then
we just lost a whole bunch of listeners.
And then I got little Joker Batman, Rick and Morty, also one of my favorites. But I just enjoy a whole lot of things. I am if you ask me what are you the most passionate about, I couldn't tell you the answer because I get passionate about games. Anything that I get into, I get passionate about, and I can tell you like millions of things about it. Right now, I can tell you a whole lot of stuff about Disney World and about Disney just in general because I am all on that train right now.
Not only that, you go there every year, every day. You fly out there in your private jet with your Gucci handbags.
My
Gucci. Take me there.
Hey, if I had the time,
you're stuck on the bottom of a
my private jet is a baloney. It's shaped like a baloney. Like it just, I don't know how it flies. It just magically just flies in the air. But yeah, and so I think with this, we want to kind of get out like every single episode that comes out with the Real Baloney Podcast and will be presented on the Real Baloney YouTube channel, which has been created. Doesn't have anything on it. It just has a picture of a baloney. So you can go to Real Baloney on YouTube and you will find us, but you will not see anything. Subscribe to us, yeah, like nothing because there's not a video yet. So this will be the video.
There will be
subscribe to nothing, please.
Started from the bottom.
Subscribe to get future stuff that you might see. You might see this, on there eventually.
So show the support.
So you might see
for nothing.
The page will not be blank forever, I promise. We will start rolling out episodes every week. Starting next week, actually, we will be doing the review of the first 2, because yes, the first 2 episodes of Wandavision come out next week, and we will be giving our thoughts and review on that. And as every episode goes, we will not just do one topic. So we won't just be, if we're doing it week by week, we're obviously not going to just talk about the one thing that happened that week. We're going to be talking about different subjects that we want to talk about that get brought to the table. Obviously, there can be guests that come in. We can have our friends. We can have maybe some of you guys come in if you were like, hey, I want to talk about this. Get people involved in things is what I would want to do. I want to hear from everyone from every aspect. There may be not heated arguments, but friendly arguments, because you can agree to disagree to people. This is an open space. I'm not going to judge.
It's debates.
It's very debatable. So, So I just want to welcome
just
everybody.
add another baloney here too. We'll just add another person as another baloney. So
Yeah,
so we have the people up top. Baloney supporting the people.
Can I get a baloney in the chat? That's all I care about, really. So
Baloney in the chat.
So yeah, we'll be working all the kinks out. You will be with us alongside us every which way we go, and we hope that you can support us, be with us, and be patient with us as we also adjust to anything that happens along the way. But yeah, I mean, to get this kind of introductory thing started, we're 10 minutes in to this right now. So we have introduced ourselves. We have gone through what we like. Now I want to hear what we dislike. So I don't know. No one knew I was gonna do this. No one knew I was gonna bring this up. So before we started this, we were talking about one of Lainey's favorite things, which I don't want to get her started because she will talk our ear off about it if we do. But before we started this, we had said what our favorite scene from Star Wars was, what we loved, like what got us kind of like into it, what we liked about it. So right now, I don't normally like negative things, but can both of you, I mean there's only two of you, but can both of you tell me what your least favorite Star Wars movie is and why?
Mine is definitely gonna be what's the second movie for the new trilogy?
Oh
I
yeah,
can't even remember the name.
Last Jedi.
Yes,
Star
I
Wars
did.
8.
Yes, and I'm gonna give you guys good reasons. I didn't like it because I feel like it didn't have anything to add to The Force Awakens. I feel like it was more of just a filler movie. Like kind of how like in anime and stuff you have filler episodes. I felt like that was kind of with this movie. It felt like there was some storyline to it, but realistically, could they have done a better job? Yes. Like I think the problem is that they were switching directors so many times with the movies that it made it difficult to be very consistent, which in turn made the movie not do so well in theaters. I mean, it just kind of felt lackluster versus, of course, Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker. It felt very lackluster in terms of plot, action, just kind of everything. Everything lacked. And didn't really make sense. So that's my least favorite movie. I mean, there's no hate. Like, I think it was filmed very well? I like, for me, the Star Wars movies, I love the cinematography on Star Wars movies. I love like the action, the effects, like everything, like the characters, like what they're bringing to it. But in terms of just the story, it was like for me. It was very
Yeah. All right, Josh, go on ahead, man.
Before I go, I want to know yours because mine's gonna be the show killer.
You're gonna be the show killer.
Like,
okay.
Your guys' jaw's about to drop. So I want to end the podcast on that, on the note.
Well, I mean, we can bring up. I can bring up one more other topic because again, we're only 13 minutes in. So
you go for it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I can. Well, fine. I'll be controversial right away.
Okay. If you want to, I can go and then you go and then if do you either of you guys want to talk about something like else before we continue on to that? Do you guys want to talk about something else?
We can't give away the goods, man.
Well, I don't even know. I don't know if you guys have something, but apparently you didn't because you thought you were going to be the end of the podcast.
Oh no, I do. For the next episode, you'll find out. Next episode 1.
Okay.
Remember, this is just a teaser. This is an introductory. This is an episode 1.
All right.
So I'll let you go first, and then I'll end the episode on a controversial, crazy note.
Okay. All right. So growing up, I loved Clone Wars. Clone Wars was always one of my, or not Clone, yeah, the Attack of the Clones, not Clone Wars. That's a TV show. Don't want to get the hate in the comments here, all right? Don't want to get like, that's not the right movie. That's a TV show. That's not a movie. So Actually, if you want to think about it, it is a movie because there is an attack. There is a Clone Wars movie before the TV show starts. So don't even get at me. Come at me, Star Wars fans. I know stuff. All right. Anyway, this has nothing to do with Attack of the Clones. I just wanted to put that out there that I think Attack of the Clones is a great movie, and I think people give it a lot of hate where it doesn't need to be hated. I loved it as a kid. Maybe now it's not as good. Whatever. All right. I am with Lainey though. Worst Star Wars movie I could say is Last Jedi because first off, and if something is established, if something is like written in, if not written in stone, because obviously it wasn't. If something is written and is being prepared and is handed off to you from the previous director, and you're like doing the next movie in it, you don't just be like, you know what? Screw this script. I'm gonna make my own, and I'm gonna write what I want to write and make my Star Wars movie. That's not the way the Force works. Okay, that's not the way.
But
This is not the way, y'all.
This is
but
not
guys, but
This
that's
is
what makes
not
them
the way.
great. When the director's like, I wanna have fun stuff. No, you
the.
don't
Yeah.
like that. The director's like, I wanna write whatever I wanna write. No.
You know,
Well, when it has nothing to add to the previous movie, that's when I'm a little concerned. Because
Yeah.
if it to me, it felt like it was basically just its own entity. Like it didn't belong with the other two. And that's what really threw me off is this movie should be a way to like connect the first everything to of course these new ones, and it felt like nothing was like added to
Yeah.
like make it like make sense.
Yeah, you know the thing I would like to give to an example of is as of what kind of happened with this is that like what you just said, Josh. You know, like make it my like you have to you take it. What did you just say, Josh? You said something in the vein, and I wanted to use that example as something. What did you just say?
Oh, like I was pretty much just saying like, oh, like where you just could write whatever you want, like make your own sort of
There you go.
character and
Yeah.
just do whatever.
I mean, yeah, and you know find it out along the way. You know, I'd like to take a shit and take a bite out of it and see what that tastes like. But am I gonna do that? No, because that's not the thing you do. Because it's not gonna taste good. You know it's not. But I'm not gonna give that like the time of day to think about. Like you just it's just my point being for that whatever that just was is that you don't take something and try to make it your own when that's not the way it was supposed to be done. I mean, I understand, yes, like there are certain times there needs to be stuff like people that step in for that stuff. I think one studio that kind of does that too much is Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers steps in way too much for like DC universe stuff. They there's been constant reports about how Warner Brothers steps into the DC universe and like doesn't give the directors the creative freedom that they want. They give it some, but then they take more of like, well, we're gonna do it the way we want to do it. Whereas like Star Wars, like it seemed like they had apparently they had everything planned out. They were like, this is what we're gonna do. These are the 3 scripts we have written. You can make adjustments, but in the middle, Ryan Johnson makes the decision. I'm gonna throw this script out because I don't like it, and I'm gonna write my own, which again messes up the flow of like, okay, so we had a third one planned and we had it written out sort of, but now you're messing all that up because you want to write something totally different and you want to diverge from whatever path we were setting. And I'm with you, Lainey, on there are some amazing moments in that movie. There are some moments that I think make it a great movie. Huh?
I think some of my favorite things that I liked was, of course, Rey meeting Luke, asking him to train her. Of course, I thought it was pretty cool that they made Kylo and Rey like connect with each other through the Force. Those parts I had no issues with necessarily, but it was the way that they almost kind of destroyed Luke's character.
Mm-hmm.
Like they literally like took him and were like, you're a bad person now. And now they're kind of having to make up for that
Mm-hmm.
because, of course, everyone's seen Mandalorian by now. They've seen the season 2 finale. They obviously saw him make
Spoiler if you
his
haven't.
I'm so sorry, spoiler if you haven't. But of course he makes his big return and it's him young again. And what I'm hoping is that Star Wars and, you know, of course the future of it, they can actually redeem him, because I feel like with that movie they kind of just destroyed him, and it made so many people like not really like him as a character anymore. And I thought that was kind of what ruined the movie, is why are you trying to destroy a character that was so amazing in the originals, and now you're trying to make him look like the bad guy? Like, it was basically just more or less a ripoff of the originals in a sense.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't really like it, is they basically threw out what they had, but then they more or less just ripped off what they already had.
Yeah.
And it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and I mean, I can list a couple of things that like I love about Last Jedi. I love the one sequence where a Star Destroyer, or like, you know, the ship goes in, like, everyone's always wondered
She tears through it.
what happens when you go into, like, you know, in a hyper jump through another ship.
Yes.
And because you know, we've never seen that was an amazing moment. Silence. Just
It was, to me, it was just like someone sacrificed themselves, but that scene was just so beautifully done.
Yes.
Like, just seeing that, like, imagine that was a real thing.
Yeah.
That you just saw out of another ship and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, and then the throne room scene, the throne room fight scene is beautifully done. I think that's one of the coolest fight scenes I've ever seen in Star Wars too. I think some of the just imagery that they do on the planet that they land on for like I guess you could say the last stand would be like that, and the ships are like gliding across the sand / dirt, and the red is coming up. That's so awesome. But then it counterreacts it with the subplot of Finn and Rose that does not need to be a plot. And
Thank you, someone said it.
There are so many things wrong with that subplot that it doesn't need to be a thing. One, they go on that subplot to find the spy that's on the ship. I believe is why they do it in the first place. They go to find the spy, or like to get someone on the ship to like hack. I forgot they go for Benicio del Toro's character for some reason, and it's like for the spy. Turns out there's not a spy on the ship at all. What's his fucking name? The Poe. Yeah, there you go. Poe's character is just very, very like wants Laura Dern's character to be the spy, and it's not. She's not at all. She was really just trying to help. 3. The casino planet. The casino planet does not need to be in existence at all. And what is it there for? Oh, because we wanted to show the little kid that's like a slave, in the middle of that movie, and then we want to show him at the end where he uses the Force on the broom to say everyone can be a Jedi. And I'm like, but
the problem that I see that they run into with that is that they're now basically implying that there will be more to the story, because they left like, I feel like when you watch these movies you're left with more questions than answers, because they were supposed to give Finn his own storyline of he's Force sensitive. He wasn't gonna tell Rey that he loved her, and everyone kept implying they were like gonna be in a relationship. No, he was gonna tell her that he was Force sensitive as well. He could be a Jedi. But with that, plus the, of course, casino scene with the kid, they're implying that they are gonna build a new Order of the Jedi. And frankly, half the cast of those movies said they absolutely refuse to do another movie. And that's because all these Star Wars fans, or claim to be Star Wars fans, have bullied these actors off of social media because of their own opinions about the movies. And it's like, well, realistically, y'all say you're fans, but if you're going to bully the actors, we're never going to get new movies. We're never going to get explanations as to what happens. Like, hey, does Rey train Finn to be a Jedi, or do they go back to that planet and get that kid? And like I said, that movie was basically a ripoff of like the originals,
Yeah.
specifically the Phantom Menace, because they're implying that that kid, like that scene with that kid, he was a slave and stuff, that automatically takes you back to young Anakin Skywalker in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And makes you think of him as when he was a slave. And it's kind of like, well, are we actually going to get this stuff, or is this just, there for no reason?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And then I mean, like what you just said. Sorry, Josh. This is probably taking a long time, and you're like, "Oh my God, can I get to mine, please?" But are you there still? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just listening. I'm waiting.
To kind of finish it off, what you did say, Eleni, about some of the cast being bullied off. Obviously, we're talking about Rose in that sense, because of everything, all the hate that came to her. Honestly, I have nothing against the actress for Rose. I don't think that she's a bad actress at that all. I think the directing for her was very. I'm gonna go back a little bit on that, because before Last Jedi came out, for May the 4th and the Star Wars Day that happened on that day, when she came out and was introduced, Rian Johnson was like, "She's my favorite character of the whole movie," and I was like, "Okay, great. Like, I wonder what she's gonna do. Like, that's awesome." And like, her backstory of like how her sister dies, and then like, and she's just like, she doesn't know what to do, and now she has a purpose of doing it. And I'm like, that's an awesome story. It's just not executed the way it should be. It's
Agree.
And I forget what the exact line is, but at the very end, this is my last point to make, by the way. I just want to say that, so Josh, get ready. But
Okay.
the last point that I have to make is that towards the very end, when Finn is going to sacrifice himself on the sand planet, and he's going and going, and it's a plot hole. These speeders are not going very fast. He's way ahead of the pack. Somehow she's in a speeder that's looks like the same model, crashes into Finn so that he veers off, and like she like hers crashes or whatever, and then they go to the ship, and is that where they kiss? Do they kiss? And it's like they kind of are trying to force a relationship with Finn and her. It looks like, I believe, right?
I want to say it was when she crashed, before she went unconscious, she like basically like kissed him and stuff, or like was telling him he was like stupid for what he was trying to do. And I agree, like I feel like they forced the relationship when it's like not even like a day ago she literally met him and was calling him a hero and stuff, and like obsessing. And it's like, I don't like that. Like you said, I think her character was poorly executed because of that, because it makes her seem like, oh my God, I'm obsessed over this guy because like this. And like, I feel like they shouldn't have done that. Like, they could have had a great friendship. They definitely could have worked together. But yeah, I feel like it was really forced.
Yeah, and I'm totally with that. And then, but there's one line that she says before she goes unconscious, and I think it's like, it's like we can't risk the few people or something like that we have, and then, but like, it's something like because Finn is trying to do a good thing. He's sacrificing himself to like save everybody else, but then she says like a line that like is mixed up of like, basically what he's doing is wrong, but she like says it in a way that it's like, well, what you just did is what I was trying to do, and you just messed it up. So it's like
like it was kind of like a contradictory statement, because she's like, it's like you're risking one life to save, dozens, of course.
But we need all the lives that we love, or something like that. Like,
yeah, it's like, well, you literally just stopped him from doing that, so now y'all have to think of another way to keep yourself safe, because you just messed up the one plan he had to save y'all. So yeah, I see what you're trying to say there. Like, it's a contradiction to like
be like, that's what I was trying to fucking do.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's what I was trying to do. You just stopped me. So there goes that plan.
Yeah. So in closing on my end, like that's why there's just so many. There's a ton of great things that come out of the Last Jedi, but with that, there's also a ton of flaws that come out of the Last Jedi, and then so that's why that's my least favorite Star Wars movie. Not to bag on anybody. If you hate my opinion on it and you want to explain it, go ahead. That's fine. You have your own opinion. I have mine. That's the way this all works. That's why we're okay with everyone here. All right. And Josh, I cannot wait to hear what you have to say because I feel like the whole time I'm going to be laughing. So
So I really wanted to be that one guy, the guy that everyone in chat, like, that one person who's like, oh yeah, I'm real like hardcore. I do whatever, I say whatever.
uh-huh.
So I really, just to like make everyone mad and just to hear your reactions,
Just
I
like
really
everyone.
wanted to say The Empire Strikes Back, one of my movies I did not like the most. And I see your guys' reactions. You're like, oh,
I hate you so much.
gasping out. That's not the movie
Jacob's
I'm
like,
gonna
oh
say.
gosh.
That's not the movie I'm going to say.
Oh, it's not the movie you're gonna show. Yeah,
That's
it's
not
like
even the movie. I wanted
Watch
to
it
say
be
that
Rogue
just so I
One.
could get that. But no, the movie I did not like watching was Star Wars Episode 6. What is it? Return of the Jedi, right?
Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Wow.
I did not like that movie. That was the one movie I did not like growing up watching. And let me tell you why. First off, Boba Fett was the killer, mood killer, straight up. He was like, oh, I'm super cool. I am awesome in number 5. And number 6 dies. Okay, that's cool. That's it. I'm like, okay, cool. This cool looking character who has a bomb ass jetpack just gets killed. He can't use the jetpack apparently to get out of there. Oh, that's great. He just gets eaten up by the sand monster. So I didn't like that. Another thing I did not like was I didn't like how wacky and crazy the scenes with the what did they call it? When they went to go when they captured Han Solo and Leia
Mm-hmm.
and like C-3PO and all them,
The
and
Ewoks?
then the Ewoks came in and all these wacky shenanigans, killing all these random clones, all these random stormtroopers. It's like, dude, that wouldn't really happen. Like,
Wub
I
dub.
mean,
Wub dub.
it's crazy because it's crazy because like I want to say like in the newer movies, right? Even like 1, 2, and 3, you wouldn't even see any shenanigans like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like because it's going like a little bit more like kind of not realistic per se, but more not like crazy stuff like that, not like cartoony, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what like those scenes make me think of, like random cartoony things happening. It's like that's not gonna happen. Like, no. And then
You don't believe that the Ewoks would be afraid of someone who has
no,
mystical force powers that can, and then that C-3PO is a god to them.
no, no, well, no. That's not what I mean. I mean like battle stuff, like
Oh, you're talking like
oh,
the strings that they used to force the people off like the
yeah,
speedsters and stuff like that.
exactly. Like what?
Oh my
Like
god.
if you're going that fast, like if they're used to going that fast, I'm pretty sure like it's like driving a car. They could kind of see and pay attention to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and then my whole thing was especially in like the newer updated versions,
Mm-hmm.
this is probably the killer, where you have Anakin Skywalker, young
I was
Anakin
about to say
Skywalker.
the
Yeah, and then
remastered version of the movie where they
yeah,
add him.
yeah, you have old head Obi-Wan, and then
Oh.
you got Yoda there. And it's like, what the heck? It makes me think of the memes like, why are you so young? Like, yeah, this is what I decided to pick. Or it's either that, it's like, oh, I wasn't. This is the last time I was a Jedi, when I was young, good looking, and all that. And it's like, well, if he's young, why not have Obi-Wan?
You know,
Or at least if he's, but
I can actually counter that. I can actually counter that because
I can counter that.
the reason why they use that Anakin is because that's Anakin. That's not Darth Vader. Because
Yeah.
when he becomes
yeah,
Darth Vader is
obviously.
in episode 3, and then
I mean, okay, I understand that, but why can't Obi-Wan be young? Just saying. Just saying.
So the whole point of it was that it's supposed to show them when they become one with the Force. So like if you watched,
Okay.
if
So
you
he was a
see,
baby killer when he became one with the Force. He was killing
well, okay,
kids and
but
young
well,
people.
it's not really necessarily, it's not really that, but it's more like it's those who follow the, like it was when he was on the like following the path of the light still. So when he was still following,
Okay.
like when he became Darth Vader, he is no longer going to become one with the Force. But then of course when he sacrifices himself and admits to Luke it's his father, that's when like he realizes he's no longer suffering. He now sees the light again. He is now one with the Force. So
Well,
rather than them showing like an old burned Anakin with all these injuries and crap, they want to show him when he's young as the last time before he truly went to the dark side.
but wouldn't he be with the Force right before he's about to die, on his last breathing moments, talking to his son?
Yeah,
I would consider that. And then
I don't know.
So I don't know.
I mean, I
No,
don't know. That's
they
what
just
they
wanted a
chose
hot
to
ass
do.
actor right next to Luke
Hey,
Skywalker, being like,
hey,
"Hey, what's
he's
up?"
coming back too.
no,
He is coming
Anyway,
back
no.
too.
he was just like,
Of course
you
he's
know what?
coming
I didn't
back.
like the way I looked when I last talked to you, so we're just gonna go way back, man. Before you were even the day you were born, that's what we're gonna go back to.
I think it's supposed
Yeah.
to be. It's supposed to kind of follow the idea of like what Yoda said in the Phantom Menace whenever Qui-Gon Jinn wanted to train Anakin, because he was the one who saw exactly what his future was going to be. He says, of course, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hurt, hurt leads to suffering, and that's exactly what happened. And he was still, technically he was technically suffering as Darth Vader. Like he was hateful,
Oh yeah.
he was angry, but truthfully he was just suffering and he needed to realize that.
And then I think I think that's honestly a lot of what I have towards the movie. I mean, the movie is a good movie. It's just there's just a lot of stuff that I didn't really like about
Yeah.
that. I mean, I it's been a while since I watched it, so I don't have everything fully, but that's just from what I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
for like franchise wise, Qui-Gon Jinn probably the best Jedi.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
100%, dude. He was like the definition of a Jedi.
No one can argue that. Literally anyone who tries to argue that,
Besides
you
Obi-Wan,
can't
I don't know. Obi-Wan's pretty good.
Obi-Wan is kind of questionable though, because Obi-Wan kind of like he questioned everything rather than just kind of like he was almost like Anakin in a way. Like he questioned everything. He kind of like was negative about stuff, and I was like, Obi-Wan, shut up!
Yeah, and then
Well, I mean,
Like sit
to be
down.
fair, well,
And like
I'm about to lay a little Jedi or not Jedi, a little Star Wars knowledge that I kind of know that you probably know too. So what I know, it was definitely right before the reason why Dooku went to the Sith is because he didn't approve, which is why Dooku to me best Sith Lord for sure. But what happened? What was going on with like the whole Jedi and the Sith? Count Dooku didn't like. Who I think. Wait, did he train? If I'm not mistaken, I think he might have trained Qui-Gon Jinn. Am I wrong about that?
I believe he trained Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's the person that trained Qui-Gon Jinn, right? He goes to the Sith because what he sees, he doesn't like. Like, it's not necessarily that he's like joining the Sith because he's a bad person. It's because what he saw through I guess Palpatine was like, hey, like this is what the Jedi are doing. They're not like there for all these people and all this stuff that happens. And when you continue on through like the series, when Palpatine has an exchange with Yoda, like you missed everything that was right in front of you. You were so preoccupied about doing whatever you guys were doing that you guys weren't seeing the whole real world, which kind of caused Yoda to like
to also question. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
also that's
which is
actually kind of why I
building
like
it.
Ahsoka so much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Ahsoka's best character, but that's why I'm saying is like that's why Obi-Wan could be part of that, one of the best Jedi's because of the fact that like if you don't question, if you just go with everything is said to you and you don't question it, what are
Yeah.
you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
Because
so
like now that I think about it, I can see that point too because like with Ahsoka's story, like she
oh Ahsoka's
trusted the Jedi. She trusted them and then she got framed for something she didn't even do and they basically just like betrayed her. They called her a traitor.
they
And
banished
then
her, and then yeah,
yeah, and then
and then they
they're
figured
just
out
like,
oh it
"Oh,
wasn't her,
yeah," and they're like, "Here, you can come back. Like, come join
and she's
us."
like
And
no,
she realized she was smart enough to realize like this isn't right. Like they don't care necessarily. Like they don't actually care even if they say they're good. Like are they really that good? Like so for her to just become a gray Jedi was like I love her.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
but yeah.
it's such so cool. It's such an awesome arc.
Anyway, yeah, that's the movie I didn't like, and that's my whole deal with best Jedi, best Sith Lord.
There you go.
Um,
You answered all the questions that I
so
did
yeah,
not ask, but all right.
yeah.
No, I'm
I
just kidding.
mean, you went into a huge tangent, so I
You
kept
know,
it short and sweet
you're
to the
totally
point.
right.
You're like, oh,
Oh yeah, there's this part, this
and
part,
I'm
this
just
part, this
like,
part.
and it's like this is what I don't like, and that's about it. And then I'll put in a few couple nuggets,
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right. I do.
Anyways, guys.
Oh. Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
do you want to say something else?
I are you running? Are you want to run this show now? I mean that's fine, man. Go ahead, Dad.
Oh no, I wanted. Okay, no, you go. I'm sorry.
All right. So before I didn't want to end this. I didn't want to end. I mean, you honestly like went to a very positive way of going about this. So that's awesome. I didn't want to be negative. I mean that we did start with kind of a negative thing, but then we say why and what we thought of would have made it like better in a way. I wanted to give I wanted to give a little fun fact that I know about Star Wars. I don't know if Lainey knows this. I don't know if you know this, Josh. But I want to ask you guys the question: do you know why in Episode 1 the song when Qui-Gon battles Darth Maul? Do you know why that song is called Duel of the Fates?
Because Qui-Gon didn't
Oh,
say was
because
as soon as he met him.
because if you think about because realistically the song was called Duel of the Fates because Qui-Gon Jinn was originally supposed to train Anakin and he could have been the one to actually avoid everything that happened and because he died it automatically already like gave the fate away of Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the Duel of the Fates for Qui-Gon, it was the Duel of the Fates for Anakin because yes, because he battled Darth Maul and like he had hope in Anakin. He
Mm-hmm.
wanted to train Anakin himself, and because he died, he had to give it to Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I do
Yeah.
know that. I am
like,
smart. I know that fact.
When I heard that fact, I was like, "Oh my fucking god. This
No, yes,
changes
it's
everything
very
I knew
yes.
about like Star Wars." So
Yes, I remembered that very specifically. We actually had just watched The Phantom Menace like
mm-hmm.
For New Year's. We
Mm-hmm.
watched it and I remember watching that scene and I was like this is such a vital scene to the storyline because if he dies, that completely changes what's going to happen to Anakin and Obi-Wan because Obi-Wan's finishing his training and he's still so young, like he's barely finishing his training
mm-hmm.
that he's automatically having to go to train someone else and he already like voiced his doubts to Qui-Gon Jinn about why Anakin shouldn't be trained.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it very much has to do with the fate of Anakin.
Yeah. So did you get that, Josh?
You know what this makes me think of? Oh no, I understand
okay.
that now. But you know what this makes me think of? This makes me think of man, that one Disney movie, Brave, where she's like, "Would you ever want to escape your own fate?" or something like that. That's what that movie made me think of.
To be fair, I've never seen Brave. Brave is the only Disney
Oh
Pixar
my
movie I've
God.
never seen. So
I actually haven't seen it, and everyone used to tell me I looked like
Oh.
her.
oh my god.
Would you ever want to change your own fate? Would you? That's like the most famous line from that movie. And that's what that made me think of.
I again never seen it, so I mean that makes sense though. That makes sense. But yeah, it's always just crazy to me that if Qui-Gon dies in that, he becomes a Sith. If Qui-Gon lives, he becomes one with the Force, like
He
a
would
Jedi.
have. He would have learned easily, because even Yoda like basically already knew what would happen, and I was like, "Damn, Yoda!
Yeah.
He's already calling bets on this."
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that was a fun, very fun first episode. I gotta say, there was a lot of discussion in there. But like we said, you know, every episode will be different, and we will be talking about different topics. I just kind of wanted to introduce all of us in this and give us like an opinion on like, yes, it was one main topic, which was Star Wars, and that was like the main thing of like what was our least favorite movie. But each episode will be different. We will talk about multiple subjects in one episode. It won't just be one big subject, because obviously we want to introduce, and I just want to get on one subject as of right now. But next week, Wandavision we're talking about, and then we'll talk about two other subjects as we get to it. And what are those subjects? Well, you just have to tune in next week to find out. Lainey, where can people find you?
Guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, all under the same name, ExoLuckyTiger. No spaces, no underscores, just ExoLuckyTiger.
And Josh, where can people find you if they want to find you, if you want to be found?
Well, you could find me on Joshy Boy TV on Twitch. You could find me on YouTube Gaming in this chat saying, "Hey, what's up? Drink White Claws, please." But that's all where you can find me for the time being. You guys will just have to wait.
Well, when you drink White Claws, there are no laws, Josh, okay? So, with that said...
No, that's not the saying. The saying is there are laws with White Claws.
There are no laws when you drink White Claws, Josh. You gotta know this. With that...
No laws.
I am YouTube Gaming at Twitch, Twitter, with an E, or with a 3 instead of an E on Twitter and on Twitch, but with an E on YouTube if you want to find me there. And we are all Real Baloney, and this has been our first episode. And thank you for coming by. Thank you for watching again. Next week we'll be back, WandaVision, 2 other topics, and just a whole bunch of baloney. You know, that's all it is. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next week. Later.
Thank you guys. Coming
Bye.
soon.
And may the force be with you.